Hi, this is Pokey Chatman, head coach, Indiana Fever, with Swish Appeal and Real Talk. So there's going to be a game 5. I think that's what all the fans have wanted. That's what people were hoping for. I'll get right to it. Cheryl Reeve issued a challenge to her starters, called them out for not competing. And need I say, they answered the call. I could start with Rebecca Brunson, who's the obvious choice. And if there were a game ball that was given away, I would definitely give her the game ball. And granted, the stats are going to show some of the remarkable things, the 18 points, 13 rebounds, but it was the tips. It was the deflections, her energy, her body language. Definitely answered the call. Then I have to look at Waylon. Waylon took responsibility for, not running her team, for not being the quarterback, not being the leader on the court, not getting her team set up. And it's not about the numbers, but it's about her mindset, the mentality, and specifically the flagrant foul. Now, I'm watching the game, and Holly Rowe comes on, and she talks about the run that Minnesota went on after the flagrant foul. And normally it's a team that gets hammered pretty hard that goes on a run, but that was the mindset. That's Lindsay Whalen. She got her troops ready. And, I have to go to the MVP. Sylvia stayed engaged early, often, late. Yes, the numbers are incredible, but I think when you look at the way she protected the rim. Last game we talked about the paint points with LA, and I thought Sylvia was really active on her man. She was active in help defense. She was helping tracking the basketball, not just blocking shots, but altering shots. And Nick and Simone, I don't think she's ever went scoreless in a playoff game. So you could tell that she was going to have that energy and be ready. So they answered the call, and so they'll go back to Minnesota for Game 5 on Wednesday to try to close this thing out. And that leaves me with LA. They've been in this position before. It was talked about, maybe read some articles about last year when they had an opportunity to close out the game. They were trying to hit home runs, trying to win the championship instead of winning the game. And I thought, particularly in this game, I didn't feel that sense of urgency. And a lot, I credit Minnesota, because anytime you hold LA 69 points, you're doing something right. But I just didn't feel it. I didn't see it. And I'm sure that's something that they're going to address. When you have, MVPs and Candace Parker and Nneka Ogwumike, you need them to be MVP type players to go up against a Minnesota team. And I want to give credit to Odyssey Sims. She was by far the most engaged, energetic, active, fiery. She played with a sense of urgency. She wanted to guard, didn't matter, anybody. She wanted the ball, not necessarily to take a shot, but to make a decision. And in her body language, her energy, she was excited. She was emotional. She didn't let one play lead to another bad play. And so I think there's some positive things that you can take from that. And I suspect Brian is going to challenge his players to come out and steal another one on the road. Now, easier said than done. We mentioned how when it gets this late in the season, Game 5 of a championship game, it really does boil down to players making plays. I think maybe LA opened the game with a new little wrinkle where they tried to set a back screen for Nneka, get her something easy right off the bat. But it's not going to be any trick plays. It's going to be players making plays, the intangibles. Am I in my stance? Am I forcing them to the baseline? KYP, do I know my personnel? Will I not let Odyssey Sims go to her left? Will I be there on the double team with Sylvia? All those little things have been talked about all year. That's what it's going to come down to, 50-50 balls. Plus 20 on the boards for Minnesota. You can look at that one stat, and that summed up a lot. And they were going to get the rebounds. They were not balls that were long rebounds and they bounced to them. They were tipping them to each other, chasing them down, especially Rebecca Brunson. That was a lot to overcome. Now, those are the intangibles. That's not something that's going to be drawn up on a play call sheet. It's going to be something that they're going to watch over and over. I'm sure coach will get in there and rewind the video. Did you block out? Did you make contact? Did you pursue the basketball? Did you grab it with two hands? Just reminding your players of those little fundamental things, because that's what it's going to boil down to. I thought it was a key time in the game when LA was not really looking to attack the basket. At one point, they were 1 for 13 from 3. And granted, they were good looks. And then maybe Odyssey hit one. They were 2 for 14. But they finished the night 5 for 22. Now, when you couple that with the fact that they only shot 16 free throws, that shows that wasn't that aggressive LA team that had the floor space, making the ball go from right, middle, left, side, pick and roll, top down, dribbling to the paint, penetrating, kicking. They somewhat settled. Minnesota, on the other hand, put up 30 free throws. Now, granted, they only made 19, but that was the attack mentality. And, we could sit here and try to dissect different plays. And, they ran some, rip action for Sylvie or some elbow action. But at the end of the day, these players are going to rest. They're going to recover. They're going to review the video. They're going to get some shots up. Coaches are going to walk through some plays. They're going to shore up some of the game-winning areas after timeout, after free throw, side out, underneath. And then I think a challenge will be issued to players 6, 7, 8, and 9, because you're foul trouble or sprained ankle away from having to rely on one of those non-starters to have to show up and show out so either team can get a ring. And, that's what it's all about. That's what, these players practice all year for, coaches prepare all year for. And if, Game 5 is anything like the rest, there'll be a lot of storylines. There'll be a lot of action. There'll be a lot of emotion. It'll be another great game to stage the best women's basketball in the world that's played in the WNBA. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on Wednesday, Game 5.